Hello there. Welcome back to the booth here at the Magic Online Community Cup. The little guy, Matt Tabak, Marshall Sutcliffe here with you, bringing you coverage today. Now, we've already done a 3-round stipulation legacy cube draft on Magic Online, but we're kind of switching gears here now.
Yes.
As we come into this next format, though, I want to take a look at the score to let you know where we're at. For those of you rooting for the community, I've got confirmation of what it is that we all stand to win. And by we all, I mean not you, Matt Tabak.
Not me. Nope.
As an employee, you are not eligible, but I'm not, and so I'm in. I can get this thing, and what we're gonna be able to get is Unhinged Basics.
Oh, those are nice.
One of each.
Yeah.
And a Thalia promo.
That's a great prize.
Now, the way you can get that is by logging in to Magic Online while we're doing the Community Cup.
Yeah.
And if the community team wins, they're good to go. Now, you can also see that the community team is up 42-30 as we transition into a little bit of a different take here. Normal Magic.
Normal Magic.
Yeah, they're doing
no
a sealed
special
deck.
rules, no stipulations. This is just straight sealed. Battle for Zendikar.
Battle for Zendikar sealed. So this is the first time that we get to see these cards in action.
Yeah, this is really exciting.
For somebody who spent a lot of time in the booth, I'm stoked and terrified.
Yes.
These cards were basically revealed yesterday, and as somebody like me who doesn't work in the building, I see them the same time that you do. And what that means is I don't know any of the cards. So, and you haven't touched these in, what, a year and a half?
Yeah, so before the lunch break, we heard from Sam Stoddard, who said that the Wizards team might have an advantage because they've seen this cards for a long time. But the flip side of that is we haven't worked on this set in a while, right? BFC's been done for...
booked it.
Yeah, I mean, not, hashtag humble brags, but Battle for Zendikar is kind of in our rear view, so...
Sure.
Competitively, so this should be fun.
This will be fun. You know, Aaron Forsyth suggested that we maybe play the Benny Hill music.
Yes.
Yeah,
we may just hum that if we got nothing else.
All right, so let's head down to watch the deck build for the first Battle for Zendikar sealed deck right now.
Playing paper Battle for Zendikar this early is unbelievably ridiculous. I had to read it twice when I saw the announcement.
Playing Battle for Zendikar before anyone else is probably the most exciting part of the weekend for me. I've been looking forward to this set since it was announced.
Holy F. Man. What? Take 2. I can't say that.
One of the things I love about Magic is drafting limited and sealed, and the fact that I get to do kind of like a sealed pre-release here, plus I get to draft after that, feels really awesome.
It feels amazing. I'm extremely excited to open an expedition and just yell, "Get the sleeve!"
I got to find a way to get those cards and just jet out of here.
The fact that we get to play with BFC before anybody else is sweet. It's a real honor.
It's like Christmas for a child, right? Watching these spoilers and to finally get to play with the cards that I've been updating 3 times a day is gonna be great.
I have no idea how to value or rate any of the mechanics and stuff, so I'm really looking forward to just delving into the set and figuring out what's good and what's not.
I want to get my hands on some Eldrazi.
Yes. I am so excited that I can't verbally express my excitement.
That's exciting for me. That's kind of that primordial magic that I love.
All right, you heard it from them. Primordial magic incoming. And we get to watch Kenji Igashira and Megan Wolf build here. So we're going to give them the go-ahead. And, ooh, those packs look nice, too. I haven't seen those yet. I know that those actually do get shown significantly earlier.
Yeah,
I missed those this time, and they look sweet.
We do a preview of those on the website. And dare I say, Marshall, holy F. that F.
You are daring.
F is for first look, and that's what we're getting at Battle for Zendikar.
First look. All
right here.
Yeah, and this is going about how I thought it would. I don't know these cards.
Right, so
Payback, what are we looking at here as far as big picture stuff? Are people going to be playing ramp decks? I know that there's an ally deck that you can draft that can, put some beatdowns on people.
So it's fairly straightforward. Basically, Battle for Zendikar draft, many of the 2-color combinations are supported. For example, black-red is a colorless aggressive deck. White-blue, you get a lot of Awaken. So any 2-color card combination that you find you should be able to find a good deck out of that. What you'll find in Battle for Zendikar, and we've actually been doing this for a while, that you may have noticed, in card sets that aren't necessarily multicolored focused, it used to be it was either multicolored or it wasn't. Now, even in the sets that don't have a strong multicolor theme, you'll find a lot of 2-color cards, and those are there to really guide your limited experience, right? They give you a signpost. on if you're building a sealed deck or if you're drafting a deck. Kind of, it gives you an early indication of a direction your deck can take, and if you follow those signs, you'll usually end up something very playable.
Now, one thing that you'll see the players look to the back of their packs for as well. Get a little expedition going, perhaps.
So we do have Zendikar Expeditions. Now, if you haven't heard of this, there are 25 cards, 25 non-basic lands in their own set, and these are non-basic lands that have come from previous sets, given a nice Zendikar flourish. Awesome new frame, really sweet look. And you can find these inserted. Yes, premium.
That means foil.
Foil premium. And you can find these in Battle for Zendikar booster packs.
So every booster pack has one?
That is not correct.
Okay.
Not all Magic cards are in each booster. They show up about as frequently as one would expect a premium mythic rare.
Right. And so from what I'm told, they show up slightly more often, and it ends up being somewhere in the range of one every 6 boxes or so.
Yeah, I don't know the exact numbers.
Okay,
I do know that they are.
That was the estimates from the community.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have said that, but they're very rare. They don't pop up often.
Yeah, they don't pop up often. We might see one today. We might not.
But I mean, those are binder trade binder
Yes,
all stars.
hand me the sleeve.
Yes,
as I believe we heard.
That is close to the same.
Yeah, yes. Hand me the sleeve.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look. So we have what you'd expect from a sealed deck build. We're divvying up colors here.
Now, would you expect that most of these decks will be 2 colors?
I'm expecting 2 color decks here. All right, 3 is not unusual, but I'm expecting
2 to 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, it looks like we've got Tim Willoughby down on the floor with
awesome.
With some action. Let's get down to him.
Hello and welcome down to the floor. The players are building, and it looks like we have our first expedition. Gabriele successfully finds a hallowed fountain in his Battle for Zendikar packs, immediately puts it in a sleeve. Now, this is a couple of weeks, well, it's a week before the pre-release, a couple of weeks before release. He's not going to get a chance to take it out of the building today. But that does not mean to say he's not going to get this card. It's going to be mailed out to him very, very soon. And the rest of his pool looking kind of interesting. He's just sort of sorting out his cards at the moment. I'm just going to bring this up here so you get to get a proper good look at it. Don't worry, Gabe, you will get this back. But check out this bad boy. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh my God.
These cards
Yeah,
are not particularly common. You're not going to see loads of them. But we've seen one here. And, we've still got Battle for Zendikar draft later on. There could be some open on Magic Online also. But I'm pretty sure Gabe, if he had to choose when to open it, he would have chosen in the sealed, and that's exactly what he's got. There it is. Absolutely beautiful there. But the players in the Community Cup are doing all of their builds, and one player who's very vocal about hoping to open an expedition didn't, Jimmy Wong over here. But Jimmy has opened some pretty nice cards over here. Show us the 1-2 package, Jimmy.
It's just the Happy Friends community. Everyone just wants to be friendly and, I guess both be mythic. Now, just to see if we can actually play white-black and make the real dream come true.
Both Obnixilis and Gideon, ally of Zendikar there in that deck. And pretty solid, pretty happy with that one. Lots of good things going for this community team. But I'm going to head things back so you get to see a little bit more of the build that's going on over on our feature match table. Plenty going on down here at the Community Cup.
Yeah, that was an exciting
Whoa.
poll. Yeah. We saw Gideon. We saw Hallowed Fountain.
In this two planeswalkers
2
for Jimmy
planeswalkers.
Wong.
Yeah,
wow.
looking good over there.
Man, that expedition is gorgeous.
It's nice. Now, I would expect our audience watching the Community Cup is also interested in Magic Online, so you're probably wondering how the Zendikar Expeditions work for Magic Online.
I am.
They are there. You do not require them for redemption, nor are they redeemable. But you will find them. They look beautiful. You'll be able to put those in your decks.
Quick rules questions as well for Gabe. The doc who happened to open one in his sealed pool.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Can
he play it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's part of your card pool.
Because I know it's not standard legal.
It's not standard legal. Now, if you open one up in sealed deck like we just saw, you can of course play it. If you open it up in a draft, you can keep it if you draft it. It's part of the booster pack, so take it or pass it at your discretion. The rule is they're not necessarily standard legal. Basically, all of the Zendikar Expedition cards are legal in whatever format they're otherwise legal in. So whatever format Hallowed Fountain is legal in, this is the same thing. Just because it's in a Battle for Zendikar booster pack doesn't necessarily make it standard legal.
Understood.
So if you have questions on that, your judges at your local stores, they know everything. Send that in. So we're seeing a little more organization here.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. I'm looking at the way that Megan Wolf is laying out her pool here, and I can't quite tell how she's doing it, but I think she does it the same way I do, actually, which is she arranges her cards into columns by color and then rows by importance, attraction, like with the cards you really want to play at the top, the stuff that will probably make the deck in the middle, and then the kind of junky stuff at the bottom. And it gives you a snapshot of your sealed pool from a big picture perspective of, do I have a bunch of bombs? Which colors are my thickest, my deepest? And which ones may look good but actually aren't. And I don't know if that's what she's doing exactly, but it kind of looks like it.
Yeah, see over on the right there's a Brutal Expulsion, the blue-red card.
All right, looks like Tim Willoughby has some more updates from us from around the floor.
Yeah, let's send him. He can get a real close look. Let's do that.
Okay. Okay. And we're down on the feature match floor again. Here with Joel Larson, Pro Tour winner, looking at his pool now. How are you feeling about this one, Joel?
I don't know. I have actually no idea. I think it's okay, but it's definitely a hard build. I can go in very many different directions. I can go with this plan with like millions of 1-drops and the Inspired Charge, or I go like mono Eldrazi guys, like free color, good stuff, or I'm not sure actually. I have no good answer for you, I'm afraid.
I mean, this is before the pre-release. We got the full text previews finished yesterday, so there's been lots of opportunity for us to read, but this is one of our first opportunities to play with Battle for Zendikar. Can see that there's a lot of big Eldrazi at the top end here. We can see their Conduit of Ruin at the 6-drop, big 5/5, Breaker of Armies at the 8-drop. Now, is this a format where you think that getting to 8 mana is realistic?
I don't think so. That's what it's all about, right? That's what we're trying to do here. We have these and we have these, and I don't know. Just control the board and you'll get there eventually as well. So yeah, sure.
And a nice little reprint there. Not too many colored spells in this deck, but there. Oh, sorry, that's a Radiant Flames there. So just tell us what that one does.
So it's deals 1 damage to each creature for the amount of colors you put into it. So it's pretty nice if you're like blue-black and you splash it, because then it's almost always going to be like a Slag Storm, right? That's weird.
So converge a little bit better on the splash potentially than just in a regular 2-color deck, and not necessarily unusual to see decks in sealed ending up being 2 colors with a splash of a third. But we're going to get a chance to look at some of the other decks very shortly. We'll send things back to the booth.
Yeah, Radiant Flames is actually one of the more interesting Converge cards. Converge, of course, one of the new abilities in Battle for Zendikar, where the effect is based on the number of colors of mana you use to cast a spell. Most of the Converge cards, it's a real simple equation. More is better. Converge, maybe not so much. Of course, it deals X damage to each creature, where X is the number of colors of mana spent to cast it. Sometimes you don't want to, just roast the entire board. If you can set up a situation where you have creatures with, 4+ toughness, maybe you want to max out at 3 damage. Maybe you want to max out at 2 damage. So it's one of the more interesting Converge cards, and definitely a powerful, powerful removal spell. And another thing we saw there with Tim was he pointing out some of the top-end Eldrazi. This is a bit of a slower format, I find. Certainly green and blue have a lot of strategies that rely on ramping up your mana, and Eldrazi Scions are a big part of that. Of course, if you played in the original Zendikar block, you may remember Eldrazi Spawn, which were 0/1 creatures that you could sacrifice for 1 colorless mana. They're back, but the Eldrazi have evolved a little bit. Now they're 1/1, so not only are they great mana ramps, but they're also good attackers. So really a lot of angles you can take with that kind of deck.
All right, we'll let our players continue to build, but it sounds like Tim has found something else to tell us from the floor.
All right.
I'm here in the feature match area with the deck build of Sam Stoddard and Robert Schuster here. So you guys have a little bit more practice than the community team, and it looks like you fairly quickly both settled on some fairly powerful red cards. Do you want to talk us through some of the edited highlights?
Well, it was not easy because I have a lot of great cards here, but what I'm looking at right now is a red-green deck that's pretty aggressive, got a lot of landfall, definitely playing 18 lands. Great thing, I've got Akom Firebird, which is a really, really powerful card, Rolling Thunder, not a ton of removal, but I think these are my color combinations where I feel I have the most removal and the best curve, so that's what I'm currently focusing on.
Can you talk us through what Akum Firebird does? Because it looks like both you and Robert are going to be playing with it.
It's pretty lucky. It's a 4-mana 3/3 flyer with haste. It has attack each turn available, but it also has landfall for 6 mana. You can return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it is very, very strong. It really hits hard, it hits early, and it's really hard for your opponent to deal with.
And Robert, I can see there just sort of lurking away in your 5-drop, hidden. You've got a pretty special foil going on there. Plenty of rares in your deck.
Yeah, apparently this is Obnexilus. He's a planeswalker in this set, and he's ridiculous. So we're playing black to get a little bit more removal and to play Obnexilus. Other than that, we're looking at red landfall, so hopefully we'll be able to put together the 2 swamps we need to resolve Obnexilus by the time he comes around, and hope to close out the game with some of our flyers. So.
Yeah, because your top end actually looks like it's topping out at 6. Oh, sorry, maybe 7. Akum Hellkite there, another big flyer for you.
Yeah, the land type fall of the mountain there, being able to do 2 damage instead of 1 if you're primarily on mountains. He seems like he's going to fit into my deck if I'm pretty much curved out the rest with red. So.
Now, it's interesting, both of you have mentioned landfall being really important in sealed, and something that we were talking about a little bit before the sealed build started was, is this the sort of format where you should be pretty much thinking about always playing 17 lands? Is 18 lands a reasonable shot? Is there a rule?
I don't know that there's any one hard and fast rule. A lot of it depends on what you're doing. If you're playing a very fast black-red void deck, then you're more likely to play, you can play 17, maybe even 16 if your curve's really low. But if you have a lot of landfall like my deck, I'm going to run 18, and plus I've got a pretty high curve, got a lot of 5 drops, so I want to make sure that I actually get to that 5 mana point of the game.
It must have been one of the big challenges for this set. You knew that you wanted to have Eldrazi. We know that Eldrazi cost a lot. Finding a way of making it so you can have a limited format where 2 drops can be good and 8 drops can be good too.
It was not easy. I think we got to a point that it worked out, but yeah, it definitely was very difficult. I mean, my deck has the 2 mana 2/2 that has to attack once I have an ally, and the 6 mana 3/3 that makes 3 spawns. I mean, there are some weird things going on with that, but yeah, you definitely can play an aggressive deck or a slow deck. There are a lot of options here.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sam Stoddard. We're going to send things back to the commentary booth for now, but we'll bring you more from the floor here at the Community Cup.
All right, thank you, Tim. Doing a great job out there, getting us all the insight and all the exciting opens and expedition for Doc, double planeswalkers for Jimmy Wong.
Yeah, it's really interesting to kind of see what's going through their minds as they're putting their decks together. And as Tim mentioned, as both of our players mentioned, landfall, very important ability. On Zendikar, lands always play an important role in the plane's defense. So you definitely want to make sure you're playing enough lands to support all your spells. Hitting your land drops is super important always.
You find that you usually play maybe 18 lands?
18 is my starting point in this sealed format especially. In faster formats, I've gone to 17. Battle for Zendikar, I started 18. I think once I played 19.
Okay.
There's a cycle of enchantments that give you some very powerful land bonuses. The retreats, retreat to Coralheim, retreat to Kazandu and such. And had a couple of those in my deck that time around. So deck building continues here. See Megan and Kenji.
Looks like Kenji settled in on a 2-color deck that's blue-red.
Yeah, I'm seeing blue-red both sides there.
Have you had a chance to play with or against a blue-red deck in this format?
So blue-red is one of the color combinations that I have actually not seen in action.
Maybe a little unconventional.
Yeah, it's you're going to be having a lot of converge spells there, so I think that's going to play a role depending on what you open. The classic red-blue combination, a lot of tempo, removal, bounce, that kind of thing. I'm trying to get a look at
I see there's a turn against in the pile there for Kenji. That's the for old school players, they'll know that as the now I forget the name of the old card too. Steal your guy at instant speed.
Oh, Array of Command.
Thank you.
Yes.
Array of Command.
Array of Command.
This one's a 4 in red for an uncommon instant. It has Devoid, and it says gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. So a real blowout, and I can see that Kenji's got one in his pile there. But Tim Willoughby has more from the floor.
We're down here with Maria and Jimmy over in the community team, making their build. Now, obviously, these guys having to read some of these cards for the first time pretty much. So not necessarily the easiest of builds for anybody. And it looks like, Maria, you've been moving around with a few different colors. How are you feeling about this one?
Well, I'm feeling uneasy would be the word. I've got a pretty strong ally card here into Juru Warcaller, but I don't have a lot of allies to help trigger this. I do have a few vampire allies, but I don't know if this card is good enough by itself with some scions, or if you need allies to really make it shine. I mean, you want allies to make it shine, but I don't know if I've got that or not. But I mean, do I just put in a Gnarlid? It's cute, but come on, it's only a 2/2.
I mean, Tajuru Warcaller, the 2/1 for 5, it's really about the rally ability, right? So when it comes into play, or another ally comes into play, all of your creatures getting +2/+2. I mean, you said you had quite a lot of scions going on with this deck.
I do have 5 Scion Makers, I think, so far, so it could be good. I have 3 Scour from Existences. Is that good or is that terrible?
7 drops. You never know. I mean, I'm mono. I'm in the same position. I want to make an ally deck, but it's sealed. So unless it really comes together, it's like a 50% synergy deck, and I don't know if that's worth just sacrificing to just use better colors. It's tough though.
I mean, it looks like between the 2 Planeswalkers that you opened at the moment, the white Planeswalker winning out in the battle to actually get played with Battle for Zendikar. Yeah. Obnixilis on the bench?
He is on the bench. My black pool is just not terribly strong, and it doesn't really synergize that well either. Green just has a lot more removal for me and a lot of pump, and I'd want to be aggressive if I did play a white-black deck, and I just don't have enough to, I think, really make it worth it.
So at the moment, it looks like both players with a little bit more than the 23-ish spells to go along with their lands. So still making cuts, still making adjustments. We're going to pass things back to the booth, and we will carry on looking at the build very, very shortly.
Thank you, Tim. We are still checking out Megan and Kenji. They're going through their decks.
I had a question from chat, Matt. I don't know if you know the answer, but I'll put you on the spot here. So since these cards are colorless, these devoid cards, even though they have a color in their mana symbol, how are they sorted if I sort by color? Do they end up going with the lands? Like, does Magic Online see them as colorless as far as sorting cards, or if it's 4 and a red for a devoid card, will it be with my red card?
Yeah, what we're going to see tomorrow in the Battle for Zendikar draft is it will actually sort them with the colorless cards.
Oh.
So those will kind of be in one pile. Now, I'm told that they're actually taking a look at that. That may not be the case forever.
I see, because we're still in the beta part.
Right, this is the beta build.
Okay.
So what you're going to see tomorrow is those are going to line up with the colorless cards. I don't know if that's what actually is going to happen.
Understood.
Once we go live.
Okay. I thought that was a good question.
Yeah, no, excellent question. Obviously, if you're more than happy to answer questions from the chat. Of course, you're taking a look at home just like we are. It's difficult from this distance to really get a sense of what's going on sometimes.
I see a lot of devoid cards here for Megan Wolf as she's got a ton lined up. Oh, it sounds like Tim's got some more updates from the floor.
And now I'm down with the Wizards of the Coast team, Mike Tyrion and Ryan Spain. This looks like the red-black table. Tell us a bit about what's going on around here.
Well, we're opening up a lot of red-black rares and mythic rares, so and I have a Rolling Thunder also. So it really red-black and a lot of colorless cards, a lot of colorless beatdown.
Yeah, I have a couple of Evolving Wilds. I'm trying to decide if it's worth it for the blue Devoid stuff I have going on, because I got a lot of Devoid synergy. And I think if I just go ahead and splash a little blue, I can really make it all about the colorless here.
It's funny because I was thinking the exact same thing right before you guys walked up. I'm like, oh, a 2/1 flyer that brings a 1/1, a 2/3 that brings some 1/1s. You know, I like the Eldrazi spawn, and maybe I'll add some in.
Any edited highlights from this deck? Any particular cards that really stand out?
I already hit on the Rolling Thunder. Super excited about Duststalker. At the end, I may decide to go with Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. That's maybe more in the spirit of the Community Cup with this deck, but I think that'd be amazing to get to 10 mana and cast them.
I mean, I have heard tell that Ulamog is one of those cards that sometimes, no matter how the match is going, you think you've kind of got it sorted out. When Ulamog comes down, the game does not last much longer.
Right, if I cast him, I mean, I know I'm going to win if I can cast him. The question is can I get to 10 mana?
Fair enough, a reasonable concern, but by the looks of things, even if you don't get up to 10 mana, this deck looks like a powerful one.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I mean, I have Ruinous Path, I have a lot of removal, 2 Touch of the Voids, right? I mean, to me, this is what Red Black's all about. It's, play fairly solid creatures and then kill every single thing your opponents play. And I think with Rolling Thunder and Ruinous Path, I should be able to do that.
Yeah, Ruinous Path there, straightforward removal spell that sometimes awakens a land, Touch of the Void, 3 points of damage at sorcery speed, but it's hard to argue with 3 points of damage regardless.
Right, yeah, no, when I opened Rolling Thunder, it just took me back. And, that's why it's so much fun to kill all of your opponent's creatures and then attack them. So it's really fun. It's really fun.
All right, well, it seems like Mike Turin's pretty happy with his deck. We're going to pass things back to the studio now, though, as we carry on just to the last few minutes of this deck build.
Mike Turin knows how to have fun, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, just taking out your opponent's team and swinging. That sounds fun. We saw Mike talk about Duststalker there, and like I said before, it's another one of those multicolored cards that really kind of points the way. That black-red, aggressive, cares about colorless deck. So 5/3, Devoid, Haste, and at the beginning of each end step, if you control no other colorless creatures, it comes back to your hand. So really points you down that path. You want a lot of colorless creatures. You want to be very aggressive in that black-red deck, and it looks like Mike is doing just that.
Sweet. Yeah, and let's take a look at what Megan Wolf has planned here. Is she playing the black-red here that you were just mentioning? Is that what I'm seeing?
There are definitely some, it looks like a lot of black-red. You see a lot of colorless frames in there, which is good.
Do we know what that white-black card is right there? Do you see that one kind of sitting in the middle?
It
see if we can look that one up.
Like, and folks, bear with us at home as we try to get a view here.
They know that we know as much as they do. I mean,
okay.
you have a little more, but like I said, at the top, it
looks like Drana's Emissary. I believe that is Drana's Emissary. So Drana's Emissary, it's a 3 mana, 1 white and black, 2/2 flyer. At the beginning of your upkeep, you drain each opponent for 1. So you gain 1 life. Each opponent loses 1 life.
That card is very strong.
Yeah, the white-black deck is centered around a lot of life gain effects. There's several cards in the set that give you bonuses for gaining life.
I mean, this thing hits them for 3 a turn if left unchecked.
Yeah, it hits them for 1 a turn if it just sits there.
And even if checked, it's still just 1. I mean, when you think about that feels like a little bit maybe of a minor effect, but it's not. You think back to cards from a few blocks ago, the extort mechanic.
Oh, sure.
We had to go through some hoops to get that 1 drain of life, and this thing just does it for free. No mana cost required after you get it on the battlefield.
Yeah, just does it for free. Just that incremental every time you gain a life, turn after turn, and there's plenty of other cards in the set that will reward you for that, in addition to just life gain. So.
All right. Well, it sounds like Tim is down in maybe creeping up on the feature match here. Let's send it down to Tim. All right, we'll just take 1 minute here before we send it down to him.
We're slowly sending it down to Tim.
Yeah, Tim's kind of getting situated.
Okay, well, we've seen quite a lot of the build that's going on in the feature match area. The one missing piece of the puzzle, I suppose, is we've not yet heard anything from our Community Cup players. Guys, how are you feeling with 5 minutes left on the round for deck construction?
Definitely, I feel like I've gotten to a place where I know what colors I'm playing, and I'm just sort of tweaking the last few cards. Yeah, that's where I am.
I mean, your deck looks pretty sweet. You got a fair amount of removal, pretty decent creatures, and a curve of sorts, though I understand that the curves end up looking a little bit wacky in this format where creatures go all the way up to 8 in terms of casting cost.
Yeah, definitely having 2 8-drops is not, I feel like, where we normally are, at least in the last few formats that I've played. So it's, it makes there's like a little voice in my brain that's like, we don't play 8-drops. It's like, shut up, shut up, shut up. We're on Zendikar. We can play whatever we want, you guys.
Kenji, how's your one looking?
Really good. I'm on Team Eldrazi this time instead of Team Allies. You know, I've opened some of the best uncommons: Rolling Thunder, Turn Against, Brutal Expulsion for one of my rares. So as you can see on my top end here, I have Ulamog's Despoiler and Bane of Balaged, which are pretty sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna run 18 lands here, even though maybe my curve's not as high as some of the other people's. I've got the double channeler to help me hit that mana, and you know, I can filter my mana into that Rolling Thunder if I draw through it. I have double anticipate, some other card draw effects. 15 colorless cards, 15 colorless and devoid cards total, so really taking advantage of the Eldrazi.
Yeah, that Nettle Drone you've got there, the 3/1 for 3 that taps to ping opponents but untaps whenever you cast a spell that's colorless, it's going to be untapping an awful lot in your deck.
People remember the like Lobber crew back in the day.
Yeah.
Pretty similar effect here, I think, and you know, it's just going to keep getting them.
Awesome stuff. And Turn Against, it looks at first glance a little bit like so many other threat and effects, but the fact you can do it at instant speed really just kicks it up a notch.
Yeah, I mean, even if they're attacking with just one creature, just to play around like a Celestial Flare effect back in the last set, you know, you can't do that with Turn Against because you can take one of the other creatures and block the creature they're now attacking with. Or if they attack with 2 creatures, you just steal one of the attacking creatures, you know, block the other one, get them real good. It's one of the best effects in this type of format.
Awesome stuff. It sounds like the community team over here fairly happy with their decks. I'm going to leave you guys to just finish things up because there's not too much longer left on deck construction, but best of luck in these next 3 rounds of Battle for Zendikar Sealed. Heading back to the booth.
Thank you, Tim. And we get the overhead shot on the decks that we just looked at. It looks like their players are pretty close here, Matt. They've really got this thing narrowed down. One thing to note here,
yes,
is that the rules that they're playing under are kind of like a pre-release. They can change their deck around in between rounds if they'd like.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If they feel that there's a better build that they may have missed after, you know, talking to their teammates or seeing it in action, they're more than welcome to rebuild their deck. Yeah, going back to what Tim was saying earlier about Turn Against for our instant devoid gain control of target creature, kind of that old Ray of Command style effect. If you've only played Limited recently and you have not gained control of a creature as an instant and blocked your opponent's attacking creature with his own creature, oh, it's the best.
It is such a disgusting blowout.
You haven't lived until you've done that.
Yeah, that one card at Uncommon is going to significantly change how a lot of combat steps are played when mana is left untapped, because it is such a huge blowout and such a hard thing to recover from.
Yeah.
And
Another all-star I want to talk about from that last little bit with Tim was Bane of Balaged.
What is that one? That's one that Kenji has, right?
Yes. This thing, it's a bit of a throwback to old school Eldrazi. It's 7 mana for 7/5. Not bad. Not great. You know, it's fine. It has an ability, though. Whenever Bane of Balaged attacks, defending player exiles 2 permanents he or she controls.
Oh. I know that.
So kind of reminiscent of Annihilator, an old Eldrazi trick, but it does exile those permanents, which...
Interesting. So even though Annihilator is not a thing...
Annihilator is not a thing.
of Zendikar.
No. The Eldrazi did not bring that.
That one still has basically Annihilator.
Yeah, it's pretty much Annihilator. It's
That's
like
awesome.
It's Annihilator 2+.
Yeah, it's actually slightly better, yeah. That's really cool. I can understand. I know that, you know, the R&D team had some talks at some panels and stuff about it and said that, you know, they thought that Annihilator itself as a mechanic led to some game states that kind of felt inevitably bad for the opponent.
Yeah, you know, we talk about in R&D, we have this concept that it's not our own concept, but we talk about net fun. And annihilating people might have been fun from one side of the table, but it was really not fun on the other side. So
yeah, kind
of toned it down, but we definitely have that one throwback. Bane of Balaged is in there to exile when it attacks. So.
I like that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that card yet.
It's a good one.
That's a very strong
7
card
mana is
for
a great price for it, too.
Yeah. That's really aggressively costed,
yeah.
too. So, and we put that, of course, right into the hands of Kenji Egashira, who will annihilate people with it, even if it doesn't actually say Annihilator.
We'll look forward to that.
All right, so we've got some commercials.
Good. I love those.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. After that, though, we'll come back and we're going to start setting up to actually play our sealed matches of Battle for Zendikar. We'll see you in a bit.
Ultra